If you're nervous about going to the gym, trust me, I have been there. It can be incredibly intimidating when you're first starting out or returning, from not knowing what to do, to not knowing how the equipment works, to feeling like you're gonna look foolish in front of others, to not being comfortable in the bro-y environment. There are lots of barriers for folks in picking up a fitness journey. Today, I'm gonna help you tackle that intimidation by talking you through exactly what I did to get comfortable at the gym. I'm also gonna walk you through my completely revamped Fitness Tracker 2.0 that makes it even easier to track your fitness progress. I use Fitness Tracker Pro every single day. As someone who's not a fitness expert, who's not a trainer, who's not super buff, I can tell you that I went through all of those intimidating feelings. And honestly, I used to dread getting off the couch to go to the gym. Now I'm there every single day, and I love being there. If you're debating whether it's finally time to sign up for that membership, this video is for you. Alrighty, it's not a coincidence that I'm putting out a fitness video right after the new year. Not a coincidence at all. However, I do know that lots of folks do consider their fitness journey as part of what goes on at the new year. So if that's you and or you've ever been intimidated by the gym, I'm very happy you're here in this video because the information I'm going to share is exactly what I did to go from hating the gym and being super uncomfortable to being there every day and loving it. The first couple minutes of this video, I'm going to talk you through some of the strategies I used for getting more comfortable. The second half of this video, actually more like the second 2/3 of this video, is going to be on Fitness Tracker Pro 2.0. If you're here just for that and you're already going to the gym and just looking for information on the update to Fitness Tracker, you can skip over that. I'll have the chapters ready to go. But if you do feel a little bit of that intimidation, here is how I dealt with it. I just want to really clarify, I'm not a trainer, I'm not a professional. I've just been doing this for a long time, and I know that I used to be super intimidated. Gyms are very straight spaces. They're spaces that it seems like everybody knows what the hell they're doing, and I don't know how they learned it all, right? It seems like everybody goes into these gyms and they know how to use every single piece of equipment, and they always have proper form and all that stuff. Now, let me tell you, as someone who's been there a lot and does know a lot of that stuff now, they don't. There's a lot of people who really fuck up at the gym. And they don't. There's a lot of people who act like they're professionals who don't know what they're doing and mess up form and things. So it's common and it's okay. Like, hopefully they're not hurting themselves, but it's okay to not know what you're doing, right? You've got to start somewhere. The reason that I share that is because I don't want people to think that they're the only person on the planet when they walk into a gym, the only one who doesn't know what they're doing, because there's lots of people who feel that way. I was, and sometimes still am, one of those people. It is normal. Plus, truthfully, this doesn't usually make the feelings go away, but the knowledge that really nobody gives a shit. Nobody is paying that close of attention to you. And if they are, they're probably not doing it in a judgmental way. They might want to help, but they're probably not saying, oh, what a fucking idiot. It's typically not that. Truthfully, the only time I'm looking at someone going, they're a fucking idiot, is when they're chomping gum with their mouth open and slamming giant weights on the floor. Listen, homie, if that's you and you're somehow watching this video, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Throwing the weights on the floor when you're done is ridiculous. And really, I don't care if you're doing 120 pounds per hand. It means you're out of control and you can't handle that weight. Anyway, mild rant over, but it's getting that mindset of people really don't care and there are others that don't know what they're doing and are just getting started, I think really can help. The next thing is finding a small little gym sanctuary. For me, it's the weight bench in front of a row of dumbbells. That's my little sanctuary. I can create my own personal space. I know exactly how that equipment works. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And that makes it so I'm not intimidated. And I don't have to know what all this complicated equipment does. I can learn it over time, but I have some place to go every single time. Cardio is good. And I know that the stereotype is people go and they just kind of walk on a treadmill, and that's where you're going to start. 100% do it. But if the goal is to start building strength, and at some point I hope that most folks get to the space where strength is a goal, if strength becomes part of that, then the place I would start is the dumbbells. Why? Dumbbells are ubiquitous. Every gym has them. They function the same. I don't care who they're made by. They work exactly the same. They're two heavy things with a stick in the middle. Like, that's all they are. And I don't care who made them. They're going to work exactly the same way. They've got a weight listed on them, and you pick them up and you put them down.
I lift things up and put them down.
The only intimidating part for me getting started in that area was the weight bench. Again, I did a video on this in the past, but just knowing how to adjust it, because I didn't want to look foolish, right? I didn't want people to pay attention to me. I wanted to be in my uncomfortable, like, I'm just learning space. and I didn't want anyone looking over at me and feeling they were judging me. So I was intimidated by adjusting the weight bench because I was worried that if I walked over, looked like I didn't know what I was doing, it would attract attention. So worst case scenario, I just went over and I sat on a bench, right? Hopefully I could find one that was just horizontal. That's the most common way I use a weight bench, but typically weight benches have two moving parts. There's a moving seat and there's a moving back. The seat will adjust up and sometimes a little down. The back will do the same at a greater angle. Most weight benches have one of typically three kind of ways of adjusting them. They're going to have either a lever that you pull up and down, a knob or something that you pull in and out, or they'll just have a bar that kind of clicks into slots on a rail underneath. One of those three ways. Get yourself to a weight bench and sit on it. That's all that you have to do. Nobody really cares. But the way that you get started is you sit in front of a bench and you can lift a set of dumbbells, and that's it. Once you get comfortable in that space, the brilliant thing about it is there's a ton of them and you can sit on them and use them for however long you need for the most part. I mean, you still want to be respectful. If every single one is taken, which is rare, if every single one is taken, then obviously you want to be a little more hasty. But otherwise, you can take your time. You have your own little space, and there usually are multiple sets of the dumbbells. Like, you don't have to worry, am I in somebody's way? Am I doing this wrong? All that stuff. It's much easier, and that is a space to start. Plus, you're most of the time sitting right in front of a mirror, which means that as you're resting between sets, you can observe what's going on around you, and that's usually a way of picking up how to use other equipment. Now, you may be asking yourself, okay, that's cool. I can sit on a bench, but then when I'm in front of those dumbbells, what do I do? That is where Fitness Tracker comes in. This is a template that I built in Notion. It is a delight. I don't want to high-five myself, but I'm gonna, because it does exactly what I need it to do. And even over the last version, it does even more of the stuff that I need it to. There's no monthly fee associated with it. I don't have to pay for a separate app. It's lovely. So let's talk about Fitness Tracker Pro and Fitness Tracker, because there is a free version.
Oh my God.
So I have a free version. I also have Fitness Tracker Pro 1.0 and now 2.0. If you want to get any of these, you can go to queerefficiency.com/fitness and it will direct you to this lovely page here, which talks about Fitness Tracker. And it's honestly not even updated for 2.0, but it will let you download it because they're on the same page. You can scroll down and there is this pricing section. Now, if you want the free version, all you have to do is enter 0 and that will take you to the free version. That's not going to have most of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, but it was a place to get started. So if you just want something, it's got a few exercises in it and you can get started with those and be on your way. And then if you want to upgrade, you absolutely can. Now, the paid versions, what we're going to go over today, you can choose one of these prices. This retails for $19 for right now. I assume that price is probably going to stay about the same. If you can only give a couple dollars, anything that you can spend on this will get you that. This is a name your price sort of situation. So if it's too expensive, please feel free to bring the price down. If you have the money to spend and can do the full 19, you're welcome to do that. You're welcome to do 190, whatever you want. You got money to burn, you might as well burn it over here. So that's available. If, by the way, you've already purchased any form of Fitness Tracker Pro, if you've paid me already, you should be able to get to the same page from your PDF document that has the link to download. The 2.0 should be on there. It should look like this, where it's got these two versions on it. If for some reason you have trouble, you can't find it, whatever, simply email me at anthony@queerefficiency.com and I will gladly send you the link to the 2.0 because you do not have to pay for the upgrade. You are welcome to it for no additional charge. All right, let's talk about 1.0 very briefly, and then we're going to dive into 2.0. So 1.0 works very well. Very much liked it. Use this every day. But the problem that I had with it was I had these few workouts. They were in these groups and I could toggle them on and off, right? I could say upper push and hit that and it would then pull that workout up into my today view. That's fine. The problem is designing any new workouts, changing these meant creating a new group, putting all the exercises in, creating a new button, modifying the button. It was not the easiest thing and I just didn't do it. And I was like, there's got to be an easier way to be able to customize this document. So I'm going to reset this back because this is the template and I'm going to back out. And now we're going to go into the 2.0 document. This is built with two separate related databases, a workouts database and an exercises database. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factory reset it. You'll see that there's some last completed data here. There are some exercises that are tagged for today. There's some history here. We're going to cover all that and what that all does, but I want to reset it. If this document comes to you and it's got stuff in it already, the first thing you should do is factory reset. It's going to give you a little prompt warning you, and you're going to hit continue, and then you'll notice that everything resets. The workouts stay, the exercises related to those workouts stay, but everything else should be back to square one. You shouldn't have to go through and delete a bunch of stuff. In the workouts table, I'm going to flip to the workouts tab. Now, I find that I spend most of my time in the recent tab, which we'll talk about in a sec, but this is the easiest way to see all of them. I have all these workouts: push 1 and 2, pull 1 and 2. If you're not familiar, push workouts are ones that you're literally pushing the weight. Either you're doing like a push-up or a chest fly. You're typically doing a push motion. Pull workouts are where you're doing pull exercises like a bicep curl. Then I have chest, core, lower, balance, and back. Balance is one where it's a set of exercises that I literally do on one foot, and it is to help train balance. I did it on the floor at first, like on the hard floor, and then I got a balance pad, and now I do it on one foot on that. They're standard exercises, all of which are represented regularly. These I just say balance in front of because that's what I'm doing on that one, and I do those at lower weight, so just know that that's what that is. Then I stuck back down here, and really, I know it should probably come between these two, but I didn't feel like updating all the colors on the icons because I was lazy. And so I just stuck it on the bottom. So that's where it is. If that bothers you, you can go like this and move it, but then the colors will be out of order. So, oops. Anyway, you might be wondering, what are these icons? They are quite literally what I could set for things like push and pull and stuff like that, because Notion doesn't have a whole ton of like body or exercise icons randomly. So this is a push pin. This is a GitHub icon, which you would typically do a pull request. This is a stethoscope, which you use on your chest. This is an atom, because they have a core. This is pants, because lower body. This is scales, because balance. And this is a back arrow, because back. So they're real clever, and that's what they mean. That's where I got them from. I just wanted something so that I could have an icon to represent each one. Now, on the recent tab, it's basically the same thing, except the exercises column is set to wrap so you can see all of them. And then the last completed is important here. So as I toggle a workout for today, let's just do one. You'll notice that the date and time appears there. Now, I'm not going to typically do these back to back to back when I'm at the gym, but day over day, as you go to the gym, you'll be able to toggle them on, and you'll see that the today changed from pull 2 to chest. And then they're going to start sorting chronologically. So you can see at a glance which ones you did the least recently, and that suggests to you, maybe that's what I should do next. So it makes it pretty easy to see. So what happens when I toggle on a workout? We scroll down, and the related exercises that are here are turned on in the exercises table. That's where all the exercises themselves live. And again, they're related to each other via this field and via this field. And you'll see each exercise that's listed. So I've got chest 1 here. It's these 5 exercises. Those are the same that are showing down here when I hit today. Yes, I have a Kegel exercise on every single workout I do, because I do a Kegel exercise every single time I'm at the gym. If you're not familiar with what that is, people of all genders can do them. They are the clench and release for your pelvic floor, like your groin area. You can clench and release and then help strengthen your pelvic floor. Absolutely encourage you to look that up if you're not familiar with it. I'm not a doctor. Be very careful with any medical advice. So that's what that is. If you don't anticipate doing those exercises, you're welcome to highlight it and delete it, and it will delete across the board, because that single exercise, which I'm undoing so that they'll reappear, that single exercise is the one that is linked. So you'll notice if I come to this exercise, and I'm going to do it over here, I'll explain why that is in a minute, but if I add an exclamation point to it, the Kegel exercise in all of these others updates with that exclamation point, because it's the one exercise linked to all of the workouts. I'm going to rename this. You might be wondering why I'm editing it here versus over here. Just as a quick aside, I'm going to explain that. This template is very optimized for mobile. I spend almost all of my time working in this on mobile. Once it is set up, I'm pretty much just doing the thing, and I do it on my phone. I'm not taking a computer to the gym. That would be silly. And maybe not. Maybe some people would. I don't know, but I don't. So I wanted it to work really well on mobile. Unfortunately, Notion's mobile app is okay, but the problem is this open button here, I'm going to scroll this down, this open button takes up screen real estate, and it gets in the way, and it cuts off the amount that you can see without having to scroll left and right. Typically on my phone, I can see from over here to about the middle of the unit column, and that's exactly what I need. That's all the information. It's rare that I need to scroll left and right unless I'm making some sort of a change. We're going to cover all of that. but that's what I need to see, and this open button gets in the way. So this field is a formula which just replicates what's here. So again, if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll see that it changes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everywhere else. But if you do want to edit from the exercise standpoint on this view, you'll need to edit over here as opposed to this one, because this is the actual primary field. Okay, if you have workouts set and you want to reset them, you can click reset, but I find that I don't need to bother. You'll see that they cleared out and then nothing says today. But when I click today on one of these, it just resets everything and then puts the new stuff in its place. So this one is the push 1. If I want to change it to balance, I'll just hit today on that, and it will clear everything and set it all back the way it needs to be. So I found that I really don't need the reset button. That's just a relic of 1.0. You can use it, it's up to you. But you'll see as I've edited these and turned new ones on for today, this will filter. And again, because they're all the same day, it's typically not going to be the case. You'll notice that they'll sort a lot more clearly when they are different days. This is the same exact time, and that's why these are a little out of order. That's fine. Let's just, for funsies, we'll just change this to 29, and you'll see it'll fix. That's all. Okay, what if I wanted to change the exercises that were in this balance workout overall? Let's say the lower. We don't need to toggle it to today, but we can. And let's say I want to add something to this workout permanently. So I could click this open, and I could come and scroll through here, and you'll see that I can see all these exercises with their muscle groups, and I could choose Romanian deadlift and toggle that on. So that will automatically appear down here when I add it, and it will do so every single time I want to do this particular workout. I can also remove it exactly the same way. I'll open it up and I'll detoggle it, and it doesn't delete it. It just removes it from being associated with that workout. Now, what happens if I wanted to create a whole new workout? I can do that. I can come here and I can choose new page, and I can say sample workout. I could set an icon if I wanted, and then I would come to this field and I could toggle on whatever exercises I wanted to comprise that workout. And then when I hit today on this, and this is why I built 2.0, because I could do that in 3 seconds and hit today, and now those exercises that I just chose are what appear down here. Really handy. Now you might be wondering, what if I just want to toggle something on just for today? Okay, so I have this workout. Now I can go to the either by workout, by muscle, or AZ, and I could pick one and choose today on it. So you'll see, let's go by workout and say I want to add something from the push 1 group. I could scroll down. This is something to watch out for. There's this load more button. I can choose from whatever exercise group I want, from whatever workout I want, or I could choose from the by muscle, and it would let me pick by muscle group. So I could see maybe I wanted, a bench row or something I wanted to add, whatever it is. I could also, if I knew the exact name, I can go A to Z, and it would let me pick from here. Let's say I wanted to toggle on the glute bridge. I'm going to hit today, and then you'll notice that in the set column, a 0 appears. And when I come back to the today view, there's a new exercise here. Now that lists a 0, whereas these are empty. That's totally fine. As I do the sets that I'm going to do, I can toggle them on, and that one has 1, which is fine. And then when this one goes up to 1, they'll just group together. So how do I do the exercises at the gym? I select a workout. And again, if you're confused about what to do, just pick one of these. Each workout has the associated exercises with demo videos, so you can see each of those exercises. If you're intimidated, do this in advance. Pull this up and watch the demo videos for each one, and take a water bottle or something and do the motions if you need to get yourself familiar with how those exercises work. Now, I will say, I did look at every video, but I didn't watch every one from the beginning to the end. So I don't know the full content, but I made sure that each video that I linked was associated with that actual exercise. So pick one of them. I would start pretty easily. Let's look at the push exercises and see really quickly. Yeah, these are pretty common. I would say start with the pull 2 if you wanted. These are pretty simple exercises. So it's a dumbbell curl, a dumbbell shrug for your shoulders, a bench row, and then a preacher curl. So you could watch those videos, and that's a really comfortable, simpler workout to do when you get to the gym. So I could turn that on from over here. I can flip back and turn it on from here as well. So we're going to go, and you'll see that the one we added, that glute bridge, is cleared, and now we have all these other exercises. Okay, now you might be wondering what this body weight thing is in this weights column, because it's not very useful right now. Let's go through this, and actually I want to grab maybe the chest workout because I need one that's got a mix of different types. Yeah, okay. So for the Kegel exercise, I do the record. That's what I track, is how long is the longest that I've held. And I think it's 180 seconds, which is a really long fucking time. I'm just telling you, I've got a pretty strong pelvic floor. I'm bragging a little bit. Should put it in my Grindr profile. Anyway, so I put 180 there. That's the count. and then the unit is seconds. The close grip press is a dumbbell press exercise where you put the dumbbells together and you put them really close together, touching, and then push them up in front of you. That one, I typically do a 40-pound, I'm pretty sure, dumbbell, and I do that in each hand. So this is a pounds per hand. If, for instance, let's actually turn another exercise on. We're going to go AZ exercises, and I think it's under standing. Yes, standing tricep extension. Let's turn that on because that's an exercise that I do with one dumbbell. And so in this case, that one I think was also 40 by happenstance. So that was a 40-pound weight. That's just one where you're lifting above your head, behind your head with just one. That one I would choose as just pounds. I want to call out here. So let's mark this. I'm going to actually change it just to 25 for demonstration for just a second. You'll notice that I'm about to show you in a sec isn't going to happen because this isn't associated with this workout. It's a temporary ad. So we'll come back to that in just a sec. I'll show you. Chest dip. This is a body weight exercise, and it doesn't have to be. You can tuck a dumbbell between your legs or cinch one to your waist to make it weighted, but I don't. I just do body weight on this, and I know that I do about 10 reps per set, 15 for this incline push-up. And then the dumbbell press is also 40. So I'm going to say pounds per hand because, again, I'm doing one in each hand. Now, let's scroll back up, remembering that this is the chest workout. You'll see here the chest workout lists 40 pounds in that because it's telling me that is the dumbbell set that I need to do this workout. You'll notice that the push 2 is where that 25 is listed because that tricep extension is associated with this workout. You'll also notice that there is a 40 up here because there's a crossover exercise between chest 1 and push 1, which likely is the dumbbell press. That's a crossover, so it's going to show in both. Now, what happens if I have different weight sets that are associated with the same workout? Let's just, for demonstration, say that I was doing 35 pounds on the close grip. That will update to now list them both. So this tells me at a glance what weights do I need to go grab. I actually probably could narrow this a little bit. What weights do I need to go grab to do this workout? When I'm at the recent view, which is, again, this is where I spend most of my time, I can get really quickly at a glance. I'm going to change the order of this as well. I can get really quickly at a glance what weights do I need and what exercise will I be doing when I toggle this workout on. So it's a really handy thing. I don't know that I know many other apps that do something like that. It's pretty cool. The alternative is if there's no weight chosen for this. Again, the point of this column is to tell you what dumbbells you need to pick up. It's just going to say body weight. So if you've only got reps per set, if you've only got seconds in a workout, it will only say body weight. Otherwise, it will give you the actual numbers. If there are 4 different weights that you need in your dumbbells for that workout, it will list 4 of them, as many as there are. Okay, so speaking of the weights, let's jump over to these columns here, and I'm going to show you what they do. So as you're working out, the goal typically is to try to gradually increase the weight that you can lift, right? As you start to develop muscle, you should be able to do either more of that exercise at the same weight, or you can increase the weight to bring the number of reps that you need to do down. So how do I increase? I could just edit this field as we just did, or I can, usually once it's edited and you've got a value there, you're going to increase typically by between, depending on what you have access to, like 1.5 to 2.5 to 5 pounds per adjustment. So let's say the chest dip, we went up 1 rep per this. Okay, we can toggle that up to 1. You'll notice that it jumps by half because that's typically what your weights are going to be, the increment that's going to be available. So let's say the close grip press, let's say we actually bump that back up to 40. Cool, now that lists at 40. What's happening in the background is if I go to the history, you'll see that it's keeping track of those values. So over time, I'm able to see what weights did I do and what progress have I made and how long has it been between changes, so I can see that history. You'll also notice the set count counting. Hey there, Editing Anthony here. I realized as I was editing this that I skirted right around an important feature that I want to mention to you, and that is the set count column. I was just about to drive right away from that without actually discussing it. So what that column does, every time you hit the plus set button when you're doing an exercise, it increments by 1. So you're able to track the number of times you've done that particular exercise every single time you've tracked it. So you'll have a fun historical count of each time you've done a set of bicep curls or a set of tricep extensions or push-ups or things like that. So that's what that means. All right, back to the video. So when you select a workout, if you're new, you select a workout, you've got these exercises to do. I do 4 exercise plus a Kegel. That's separate, so we're not going to count that. I do 4 exercises, and I do 3 sets to failure of each exercise during my workout session. To failure means different things. It means the same thing, but you get differing rates. So to failure means, like if I'm doing a bicep curl, there's a point at which I can no longer pull that weight up. There's a point that's technical failure. I've gotten to that point. You want to get to that point or close to that point every time you do a set. That is the goal. That's what builds muscle, because you're actually like damaging the muscle as you do that. And then as you repair, that's what builds it. You want to get close to or hit technical failure when you're doing a set. And I do that 3 times for each. So I'll rest between them. And so I'm doing 4 times 3 each every time I'm at the gym. So how do I track that? Each time I do it, typically I do them as like a circuit. I could either do one exercise 3 times back to back with rest in between. So I can go 1, 2, 3, and you'll see that that counts up to 3, and it works just like that. Let's reset this back down. Actually, I can just blank that. But what I typically do is I do these as a circuit where I'll do 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, blah, blah, blah. So that works just as well. Also, I can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll notice that they jump down, and then I can do my Kegel, and then I can do the same thing, and those will jump into the 2 group. And then if I did, let's say I did one of them before I did the others, that could go into the 3 group. And the goal is to get all of them to 3. That's pretty much it. That's the intimidation factor, I hope, super diminished. You pick a little section, you pick your little weight bench, which is just yours. You know what weights you're going to do. Now, if you don't, let's say you don't know what weights you're going to do. I'd say start with something like 15 pounds. Test it, see how it feels. If you can do it, if you can do 40 reps with 15-pound weights, that's a lot. Still possible as long as you're doing it to failure, but I would say increase the weight. The older guidance was to do 8 to 10 reps per set. That's old-fashioned guidance. The real thing that you want to do is hit technical failure. So you can accomplish that at high weight, low reps, or the opposite, low weight, high reps. I tend to try to find somewhere in the middle. I don't want to go super heavy, and I don't encourage people to go super heavy right at first. Check your ego. It does not matter. You build muscle the same way. My goal is to promote health span in my body. I want to keep my health as long as possible. And so I'm trying to build muscle, but I'm also trying not to get injured. So I tend to stick somewhere in the middle, and I've built muscle and I've gotten stronger over time. So I'm lifting slightly heavier, but that's much more gradual. I'm not going to the 100-pound dumbbells. I'm also not at the 5-pound range. There's nothing wrong with either. As long as you can control them and you lift them to failure, whatever weights are what you need. That's all it is. So pick a set of dumbbells, sit down and do the exercise. If you do 15, 20 reps and you're finding that really easy, okay, you go put them back and you pick up a slightly heavier one, and you can be a judge. This way, figure out what works and you track it. I aim to get between typically 5 and 10 reps in a set. If I get up to 5 and that's where I'm hitting failure, that tells me I'm at a heavier weight range for my body. That's okay. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll pick up a 50-pound dumbbell and I'll do 50-pound dumbbell presses, over my chest, and I can probably only do 5 or 6. That's okay. Sometimes I'll go lower. This gives me a baseline so I know where I need to be. And also it helps me keep track. Now, sometimes the workouts get a little messy. I've tried to design mine so that I pretty much only need 2 different sets of dumbbells simultaneously because I don't ever take more than 2 sets. I'm also cognizant if I know my gym only has 1 set of 37.5. I try to avoid taking that along with another set if I can avoid it and holding on to it for a long time, just being respectful of what other people might need. But at my bench, I will never take and hold on to more than 2 sets. I am comfortable with 2 sets. It's kind of a balanced approach. Some people will be annoyed that you've got more than 1 set in front of you. Some people don't care and will take 4 sets, which I find to be a little silly. But when we're all paying our membership, it's just a matter of finding kind of that considerate balance. So if I find that my workout needs 3 different based on what I've tracked, because sometimes an exercise, as you saw a minute ago, will be in multiple groups. If that's the case, you might increase it and then it'll throw off the balance that you had set up so that it lines up with just 2 sets of dumbbells, for instance. If that happens, that's cool. I can just lower it or I can raise the others. Like I can adjust on the fly, but this column gives me a sense of how much weight I should be lifting that day. All right, the only other thing I wanted to tell you about, this is a new addition to Fitness Tracker Pro. This is the increase column. I've been using this because I bought these little weight plates. Oh my God, they're so great. They allow you to modify a dumbbell to increase it by only 1.25 pounds. So in other words, you can put 2.5 pounds on them. So as you get higher up in the weights, most of them increment only by 5 pounds. And that can be a big jump. When you're going, for instance, from like a 50 to a 55, that's a big jump when you get into the heavier weights. And so being able to be a little more incremental is a lot better. That's where this was born from, where sometimes I don't necessarily want to change the weight that I lifted that day. Some days I get to the gym and I'm more fatigued. Some days I get there and I'm super rested and I'm like, let's go. Let's lift heavy. So what I added was this column. So if I go to the gym and today I decide, all right, I did 42 and a half, but I don't want to update that yet. Maybe I was just feeling a little motivated today. I'll turn that column on. And then the next time if I go to the gym and I'm still able to do the next weight up, then I'll increase it to 42 and a half. And you'll notice that as I do that, it automatically knows to clear that so that it's reset for the next time. That's just a quick indicator, and it's a way of flagging it like, I might be on the verge of increasing this, but I'm not ready to do it yet. It gives me kind of a step in between.
You did it.
Alrighty, I think that's everything with Fitness Tracker 2.0. I was in love with 1.0, but I am even more in love with 2.0, and I hope that it provides you with a foundation for getting to the gym and building that healthy routine. It took me a long time. I really used to hate going to the gym, and now I'm doing fucking YouTube content on going to the gym. Like, it would be a miracle if I made it to the gym 3 times in a week. And I'm not saying this next part to brag, but I checked today, and exempting 2 Christmas days, because those bitches at the gym are closed, but listen, I'm here for it. I love that the employees get a full break, but they're still closed, and so I have no choice. I worked out at home. I have worked out for 532 days consecutively, so it's been since the middle of July of 2024. It feels weird to not go at this point. And before that, it was like I had to fight to get there every single time. And there were a few factors like going in the morning versus in the evening. I hate going in the evening. It's more busy and I am very much a morning person. Switching to the mornings made a huge difference. So finding what works for you is really important. Just know that I used to be in that place that I hated going. I did not want to go. I didn't like being there. It was fine. I didn't like the atmosphere. I can't solve the broy atmosphere, unfortunately, but hey, if we can make those spaces a little more queer, maybe it will feel a little more welcoming. You know, something else that I do, I don't have it on right now because I don't typically wear it at home, but I wear a rainbow wristband and I wear that very intentionally at the gym and all the time, but I wear it very intentionally at the gym to help promote a safer atmosphere for others. So I know that that factor can be a little more challenging, but all the others, the intimidation, the feeling silly, the not knowing what to do, the not knowing what equipment to use, all that stuff, I hope this video has helped you solve that. If you do want to grab Fitness Tracker, either the free, the 1.0, or the 2.0, you can do so by going to queerefficiency.com/fitness, and all that stuff will be on that page that I showed you. Remember, if you want the free version, just enter a 0. If you want the paid version, you'll get both 1.0 and 2.0 if you want it. They'll come together on that same page. And then remember that if you've already purchased it and want to upgrade to 2.0, feel free to shoot me an email if you don't know how, and I will send you that link. If you do want to learn how to build this stuff, you can go back and watch my 3-part series on building Fitness Tracker 1.0. So that'll be available for you. Also, I have a video on relations and rollups, and between those two, that series and then that relations and rollups, you can build exactly this template on your own. So if you want that video, the first part of the series will be on your screen, and then the relations and rollups video will be in the description. All the videos will be in the description, but that will be on your screen right now, and I will see you over there.